This is the Varla Eagle One V2, and while it might be almost a year old, it has taken the #1 spot in my personal collection over my Apollo Phantom V3 and my Nanrobot N6. So today, we're gonna go over the features and specs so we know what we're working with, and then I'm gonna take you out on the road. We're gonna test this baby out, and it should be a lot of fun today. So let's go ahead and get started, and let's see what this baby can do. Currently, the Varla Eagle One V2 sells for $1,569, on sale from $1,999. It comes in two colors, red and blue, and I've got the blue one to show you today. Varla has also included a few extra grip tapes for you as well if you don't like what's currently on the scooter. I'm gonna leave it the way it is. I like the eagle that's on there. And if you wanna spend an extra $70, you can get this 13.8-inch wide maple deck. They give you some grip tape for it as well, and they'll give you a second charger, which is gonna cut your charging time in half. They offer free shipping, a 2-year warranty, and a 15-day return policy. And if you can't afford to pay the whole price up front, Varla offers a payment plan through Klarna where you can pay as little as $67 a month. Let's go ahead and talk about the specs. Now, the Varla Eagle One V2 has dual 1,000 watt motors with peak power reaching 3,200 watts. Now, the motors are powered by two 25 amp sine wave controllers, which give you lots of control during acceleration and are known for their quality. It's got a 52 volt, 20.8 amp hour battery, which will get you up to around 42 miles on a single charge. The standard deck on the Varla Eagle One V2 is 9.1 inches wide, but it's shorter in length than the Apollo Phantom or the Nanrobot N6. Now, while we have a nice footrest behind the deck, it's sometimes hard to find the right footing because of the shorter length. For tires, we're equipped with 10 by 3.5 inch wide tubeless tires, which some say is an advantage over having tube tires. Now, the Nanrobot N6 and the Apollo Phantom both have tube tires, and they're only 10 by 3 inches wide. So these are a little bit wider and tubeless. Well, the top speed of the Eagle One V2 when fully charged is 40 miles an hour, and we'll put that to the test here in just a few minutes. It can also go up inclines or hills of up to 30 degrees, which is incredible. And it has a weight capacity of around 330 pounds. All right, it's pretty simple up in the cockpit here on the Varla Eagle One V2. Over here on the left, we've got our hydraulic brake handle and then our little button panel. The button panel consists of a power button, a plus and minus button, and a headlight button. Over on the right-hand side, again, we have our hydraulic brakes, and then we have our throttle, and that's it. Now, a lot of the thumb throttles these days, you have to go up and down like this, and the Varla Eagle One actually has one that you push forward and back, which I really like. I think this is my favorite thumb throttle yet. Now, here in the middle, of course, we've got our LCD screen. Now, in order to turn on your scooter, you're gonna have to long press your power button over here, and then you're gonna have to use this NFC tag and hold it to the bottom of the screen. As you can see, it comes on. We've got exactly 100 miles on this baby. Now, if you got your pedal assist mode there, which is in 1 right now, if we click our plus button, we go 2, 3, 4, 5, and our minus button 4, 3, 2, 1. Got your speed in the middle, your battery level up top, and that's pretty much it. Well, if you're like me and you like riding at night, the Varla Eagle One V2 has a really nice big LED headlight. It's got a bright beam. It allows you to really ride at night on dark streets without any issues. Now, the Apollo is gonna come in second. It does have a really nice bright light up front. You could get by with riding at night without any additional lighting, but it's not the best. That's why I added this nice big bright light up front here. So both of those together and I'm good to go. Now, as you see, the Nanrobot here has this light bar here in the front, but that does not give you any visibility out in front of you. It's more for people being able to see you coming. This is the headlight on the Nanrobot, and it really does nothing at all. So you're gonna need to add some kind of light bar to the handlebars to be able to see if you wanna ride at night, but not with the Varla Eagle One V2. So when it comes to headlights, the Varla is gonna win this one. Now, one of the things that stands out from the Nanrobot N6 is the hydraulic brakes. The 160mm hydraulic brakes on the Varla are completely quiet when braking from all speeds, while the Nanrobot N6 has squeaked from almost the very beginning. The hydraulic brakes on the Eagle One V2 work really well, stopping me almost immediately when slamming on the brakes. I wouldn't try this on your Eagle One unless there is an emergency. Just take my word for it. Well, now that we know pretty much everything there is to know about the Varla Eagle One V2, except for how it performs on the road, what do you say? Let's go out for that ride. I'm all geared up and ready to go, so let's get started. So one of the first things that I like to do is a top speed test. Well, I've got 100% battery, so there is no question whatsoever what this thing can do. Varla says it can do 40 miles an hour, so let's go ahead and speed mode 5 and see what we can do. Woohoo, man! 21, 23, 27, 28, 31, 32, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40 miles an hour. We hit it, 40 miles an hour. Woohoo! This thing is so nimble. So the steering is a little bit tighter, as I've mentioned, because when you're at top speed, they don't want the steering to be really loose. But at the same time, it's still really limber. I mean, I can weave back and forth. I can peel out that front wheel. I mean, it's just a dream to ride. So the suspension on here is pretty nice. Now it is adjustable, just like the Apollo and the Nanrobot, but it's a little bit tighter than the Nanrobot is out of the box. I think the Nanrobot's probably got the cushiest of all the suspensions, but at the same time, when you're going over bumps, you don't want it to be super soft, because then you start this motion that you can't stop of bouncing up and down, and it could lead to a crash. So I tightened up the suspension on the Nanrobot. But overall, this is a really nice suspension on here. And again, you hear absolutely no noise. It's completely silent. All right, so the Varla Eagle One V2 has 5 speed modes. The speed mode 1 is gonna get you to about 6 miles an hour, as we're getting to right now. Speed mode 2, whoa, definitely more acceleration, getting you to 16 miles an hour, 15 miles an hour. Speed mode 3, we're getting up to around 20 miles an hour. Speed mode 4. Speed mode 4 gets you to about 30 miles an hour, and then of course speed mode 5 is getting you to that top speed of 40 miles an hour. So those are the different speed modes. All right, let's go ahead and do a hill test. So Varla says this can go up a 30-degree slope, and I'm gonna throw a little wrinkle in its mix by adding grass to it. So we're gonna go up this berm. It's about 6 foot, 5.5 foot tall. It's about a 25, 30-degree slope, and I'm gonna start from a standstill, and we're gonna go and see what happens when we go up it. All right, let's give it a try. Whoa, peeling out. Absolutely no problem whatsoever. Wow. It's like it's effortless. All right, let's try it again. Let's do it from a stop in the grass. All right, we're stopped in the grass. Woohoo, whoa, hey, nice, no problem. Yeah, buddy. All right, let's ride the berm. No problem. 21, 22 miles an hour. Not bad. Woohoo! Whoa, no problem. That was a huge hill. How about that for power, huh? How about that for power? That's incredible. Now, one of the things that Varla did on the V2 is that they stiffened up the steering a little bit. So on the Nanrobot, you have to have a steering damper when going 40 miles an hour, or you got to hold on real tight. While on the Varla, I can be doing 17 like this and do one-handed, and I feel totally comfortable. And that's because they've tightened the steering up a little bit, which is interesting because I've never seen that done on a scooter before, but it makes perfect sense. Tighten it up so when you're going 40, you don't get the speed wobbles. Nobody wants those, right? So let's do a battery check here real quick. So I've gone 10.1 miles, and it looks like I've still got 79% battery left after 10.1 miles. Well, so far the tubeless tires have been pretty nice. I haven't really noticed a difference between these and tubed tires. Now, I haven't had a flat yet, fingers crossed. I do think that they got pretty good grip. Feels a little bit grippier, a little bit more stable with them being 3.5 inches wide versus 3 inches wide on the other two scooters. So I'm liking these tires so far for sure. All right, how about another brake test? Ah! Woo! All right, well, as you can see back there, we got probably a 30 or 40 foot strip down the sidewalk here. Now, I was going pretty fast. I was doing like 28, I think, 25 or something like that. But there you go. Hydraulic brake still working good. I really like these handlebars. I like how wide they are. I like the rise on them. It just makes it really comfortable and stable feeling. I trust the scooter when I'm on it. The Nanrobot, your hands are like right here, and it's perfectly flat across. So it's kind of not my favorite type of handlebar setup, if you know what I mean. This and the Apollo both have nice wide handlebars with a rise in them, and it just gives me a lot more control and stability. So I really like that. Now I have noticed that since I've gone about 13 miles so far, I can only get up to about 39, 38 miles an hour. So there is a little bit of a speed drop off so far. Suspension test. Feels smooth as heck, no problem. Woohoo! Speed limit 25, uh-oh. How about 38? All right, nice high-speed run there. Got the 39 on that one. And will the gate open today? Yes, it will. All right, so we've gone 14 miles total today on our ride in speed mode 5, and it's showing that we got 69% battery left. So basically, we've used 30% battery in 14 miles. So we'd probably use 60% battery in 28 miles, and that would still leave us 40% left at around 28 miles. So I would say you could definitely get 35 or so miles on this baby, maybe even 40 if you take it easy. And that's really good because the other two scooters would not come anywhere near this. They'd be under 50% right now for sure. Look, it's up to 70 right now. So overall, I'd say Varla is doing a good job of stating a real range for their scooter, while the rule of thumb usually is to cut the range in half from what they state. That's not the case here on the Varla Eagle One V2, so great job. All right, well, let's wrap things up here with the Varla Eagle One V2. I'm gonna give you my pros and cons. What do I like and what do I think they could do better? Well, I'll start off with the cons because there's only one, and it's just a wish. And I wish that the deck was just a little bit longer. It sometimes is a little hard to find your footing with such a short deck sometimes. I don't always want my foot up on the footrest up top, and sometimes I just want to relax and put my feet together, and it's kind of hard with it being so small. Other than that, this thing is incredible. All right, so we'll start off with no clickety clanks. Both the Nanrobot N6 and the Apollo Phantom V3, when you go over bumps in the sidewalk or jump off curbs or anything like that, you're gonna hear some sort of clickety clanks. Things are clickety clanking all over the place. With the Varla Eagle One V2, absolutely silent. You can jump off a curb and the only thing that you hear is the rubber hitting the road, and that's it. So build quality, absolutely incredible here on the Varla Eagle One V2. Another thing that I like is how they made the steering tighter on the Eagle One V2. At first, I thought there might have been something wrong because the steering was so tight. So I reached out to them and they said, no, that's on purpose. That's so when you're going 40 miles an hour, you don't get the speed wobbles. And I said, well, that's kind of like a built-in steering damper. So I really like that they've tightened up the steering here on the V2 to prevent those speed wobbles. Now, as you saw on the ride, the hydraulic brakes work really, really well, and they are whisper quiet. Unlike the Nanrobot N6 that's been squeaking ever since I've taken it out of the box. I really can't stand some of these squeaking disc brakes these days. Now, the Apollo kind of wins out because it does have hydraulic brakes, but I use the electronic thumb brake 99% of the time. So the winner is going to go to the Varla, with the Nanrobot definitely coming in third place when it comes to brakes. Now, I really like fast scooters, and all three of these scooters go 40 miles an hour, and they hold up pretty well even throughout the ride as the battery starts getting lower. I was able to get to 40 miles an hour easily here on the Varla Eagle One V2, as well as the Nanrobot and the Apollo. So it's a tie when it comes to the top speed. Now, I gotta say, the range on the Varla Eagle One V2 is pretty impressive. The Nanrobot N6, not so much. As I said in my video on that scooter, I was losing about a volt per mile, which is not very good. And I was only getting about 25 miles out of the scooter before it shut down. The Apollo does a little bit better. That'll go about 30 miles or so without shutting down. And this guy, I would say, goes at least that, if not more. I was really impressed by how much battery life I had left after going on my normal ride, where the other two would be below 50%. I still had plenty of battery here on the Varla Eagle One V2. Now, the tires here on the Varla Eagle One V2 are about a ½ inch wider than the Nanrobot N6 and the Apollo Phantom. They have 10 by 3 inch tires tires, while we have 10 by 3.5. Also, we've got tubeless tires, while the other two have tube tires. Now, I don't mind the tube tires very much. I don't get many flats. Some people complain about them, but this is my first hyper scooter that has tubeless tires, so we'll have to see how that goes. Well, I got to give it to them on their headlight up front here. This is the brightest headlight that I've seen out of the box on any scooter I've reviewed. You could definitely use this to ride at night without having to add extra lighting, so I love that a lot. Not so much on the Nanrobot N6, which has a little headlight down below and really doesn't do anything for night riding. The Apollo, though, does have a pretty good light and comes in a close second. Overall, I think the Varla Eagle One V2 is an incredible scooter and just slightly beats out the Apollo Phantom V3 as my new #1 in my personal fleet. Now, I know that the V3 was just announced and there are a few upgrades. You're going to be able to get 1,200 watt motors instead of 1,000 watt motors. They also upgraded the battery a little bit, so you might get 4 or 5 miles more of range, and you're going to have a new screen in the middle. And those are the major things that they upgraded. It does cost you $500 more, so it's going to be your choice whether you want to pre-order and wait for the V3 that costs $500 more than the V2 where you can get it now. So I'll leave a link for both of those below. If you have any questions or comments about the scooter, I'll be happy to answer them. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe and the bell so next time I put out a video, you will be notified. Well, for the Varla Eagle One V2 and Hobart's Reviews, my name is Hobart. Thanks for joining me. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you.